All right, guys, we're going to take a look into the localization of Umamusume Pretty Derby. Cygames has released a deck about how they do it. So that's what we're looking at. What is localization? You were good. Here's a gift. Ho, ho, ho. Someone's been good this year. Here's a present for you. Emotion, dialect, speech quirks. While translation conveys information in the target language, localization reproduces the essence of the character as well, all right? Our creative approach to dialects and speech quirks. How to create recognizability and authentic... Oh, God. Dude, anytime I see the word authenticity, I'm like, oh boy, here we go again, right? Quality assurance with varied speech styles. Creating recognizability, localization through sonic similarities and word choice. Creating authenticity. Character voice consistency and closing remarks. All right. What do they mean by authenticity, right? This is the thing. Like, they didn't really define like what they meant by that. And guys, here's the sad thing, by the way. I love Cygames. I love Cygames. I'm actually a Cygames investor. I'm a partial owner of Cygames. So I love Cygames, actually. So it's like, they're probably one of my favorite video game companies. So I'm very concerned, you know? Let's see here. Finally, I've been waiting year after year, hoping that this game would come to global, and now it's on Steam soon. Dude, see, but the thing is like, when people say that they want it to be on global, they mean they want an official server. And like, as a gacha player who has played, like, I've played gacha since the very beginning, by the way. I'm like patient zero gacha gamer, right? Like, I played Fate Grand Order. I played Drillend, Tenken Drillend, Fate Grand Order, the Japanese version of Fate Grand Order. And if you think rates are ass today, and you think that the rolling experience is ass today, you have not experienced the pain that is Fate Grand Order. Holy fuck. And if you want to know, well, Leaflit, did you play casually? Bitch, I had 2 max kaleidoscopes early on, NP5 Saber. And this was like a long time ago. Yeah. I had Boudica grailed because she was peak waifu. Okay, anyway, so the major issue with getting a global release, first off, translations. The translations makes it kind of annoying. If you're playing like on JP and you don't really speak the language fluently, you can't read it fluently, it's kind of annoying. Second, and this is the real one that scares people, is you don't know if a global version is going to come out and it's going to totally rug you because all your friends are going to play it. But then you also have the possibility of getting counter rugged, where then when the global version comes out, you play it, it dies in 3 months. So it's like, playing gacha games is kind of a pain. The most ideal way to do it is like Grand Blue Fantasy. So the Grand Blue Fantasy right now, the Japanese version and the English version is the same version. So it's the same servers, it's the same like game. It just has an English mode or a Japanese mode. So what people are asking for is, when they want the game to get a global release, they just want the game to come out like in the beginning, in English, basically. Creating recognizability. The traditional approach, the Kansai dialect, is often localized as American Southern dialect. Okay. Howdy, y'all. Okay, what's wrong with that? In Umamusume, it casts characters from both Kansai and American South. Giving them the same dialect would just disrupt the worldview. Okay. Localization through sonic similarities and word choice. Recreating dialects through sonic similarities. We needed a way to convey the differences in a character's speech through text alone. Relying on existing English dialects, American Southern, leads to issues distinguishing characters from each other. We established rules to replicate the rhythm, speed, and phonetics of the original dialect by using non-standard English spelling. Plain translation, what are you talking about? This isn't the time to be having fun. What are you talking about? This isn't the time to be having fun. Okay, well, fair enough. I mean, it's kind of on the fence about it. We read the English translation out loud in the same rhythm and speed as the original dialect to see how the English changes. Using non-standard spelling, we create sad changes. Recognizability through spelling that conveys the character's unique speech. Okay. I mean, as long as it retains the meaning, like, I don't really care, right? Sound alone is not enough depth to convey the depth of the charm of the character. After researching the character's history, personality, cultural background, we consider how that would influence their lexicon. I'm in the soup. Wait, does anybody use that? I think that's even more confusing than I'm in trouble. Yeah, who uses that? Is that a thing? What is that? I've like not heard that before. That's weird. Especially the culture. Okay, okie dokie. You know, honestly, this one I'm not like that. I'm kind of whatever on that one, but the soup one, it just makes it more confusing, to be honest. Creating, okay, authenticity. All right, what does this mean? A character's speech in English needs to have as much charm and flavor as Japanese. We research the character's culture and surroundings and make their voice authentic to real life. All right, what does this mean? Oh no, this is fucking Agnes Digital. Okay, you see, this is where I'm kind of like, what the fuck? You know, now I'm kind of, now they lost me. Now I'm like, what the fuck? And like, I guess like their reasoning for it, like I'm just thinking about it. Their reasoning for it is that Agnes Digital's a nerd. She's like an internet person. Like she's kind of a e-girl in a way, like a otaku nerd. Basically. So is that the reason for it? But then like, you don't really need to convey it that way. Find the platforms otaku character is likely to use. Shape the character's speech patterns with expressions that people on those platforms are actually using. The fan service is unreal. See, but like it doesn't really add, it's not really what she said though. We was otaku and shit. All right, let's just keep going here. Oh god. This is freaking e-girl Helios. Fucking, what do you call it? Gyaru. Yeah, Gyaru culture is not well known outside of Japan. We found That's a great idea. Why not go even further and make it a pretty rainbow curry? Don't hate, let her cook. Why not go all in and make it umasta worthy rainbow curry? You want to know like what the problem I have with this is? Really is I feel like part of this, and I don't know if this is just me, but I feel like playing games from other countries is a part of like learning more about the culture. It's kind of sharing that culture, right? So you'll never know about that. You'll never know about those aspects of nerd culture if like you actually have it. If you remove all of it. Character voice consistency. Purposeful task assignment and frequently updated guidelines help character speech stay consistent and help build a team's collective expertise. Oh god. Okay, they're just talking about like best mobile game. Well, it is a very good mobile game. What are people saying here? I wish localization and translation as a whole wasn't so chud versus oh my god, bro. I want someone with a swastika for a person not agreeing with me. It's not really about chud versus woke. It's just, do they just blame everything on it being like chud if people disagree? It's just people want the original culture to be maintained. Japanese culture is inferior to Gen Z Western culture. That's what these localizers are saying openly in Umamusume. If you said this about any other culture, you get canceled on the spot. I don't think that's really what they said, but it's not. I don't think that's what they said. I think they were saying that people don't know about Gyaru culture, but my point is that people will never know. People will never know anything from the other culture if you don't actually have it. And so I think that games are a cultural exchange, basically, right? These games, in the same way, like you would expect it to be the same way, right? Like if we had like a game like Hunt Showdown or like Red Dead Redemption or something very American, you wouldn't really want them to like make it Japanese when like they translated it there, right? You would want to like maintain the culture so that we have a cultural exchange going both ways. Yeah, they consume our stuff without altering it. True. Yeah, true. Look at how proud we are for censoring the games. Yeah. So the one the comments, for some reason, I fucking hate you and hope you die. Oh, I'm in the soup. No, dude. All right, you know what? Let's see what Chibi has to say about it. Oh god, that's not Chibi. Let's see what Chibi has to say about it.
You will get an understanding of just why. Take a look at these comments real quick, and you will get an understanding of just why so many people are outright pissed with this initial post about Uma. It's bad. It's really, really bad. Now, let's get right into the meat and potatoes of this, okay? Nothing says authenticity than coming into a culture and trying to forcibly change it to be completely different. For those that don't know...
So, honestly, I think the problem here... Like, okay, I'm just trying to be fair. Okay, guys? Like, you know me. I'm always trying to be fair. I think that it's just a completely different... A completely different way of looking at it, right? Like, so, like, people who are core fans of a thing, they want the game to be the original experience as a Japanese, because we're weebs and we like Japanese culture, Japanese anime culture specifically. So we want to like take in that culture and understand it. And I think this is a different sort of idea behind it where they just want to literally make it American. And like, I can see where I can see their angle in that. Like, I can understand the reasoning behind it. I just don't like it personally. You know what I mean? Like, again, for the reasons I said, is not only is it altering the meaning and altering kind of the culture behind it, it's making it so you can't have, because of altering it, you're making it so you can't have that cultural exchange, which I think is valuable. It's kind of weird because if these people care so much about multicultural, like people learning about other people's cultures, why do they want to remove it? It doesn't make sense to me. It seems counterproductive.
Or straight up now saying to the Japanese, and there's multiple examples of this, which I'm going to get into in this video, but this is a really good example here. They straight up told the Japanese, and when they're coming to translating it into different languages like English, that one of their main like presentation boards was saying the challenge was, unlike otaku culture, Garu culture is not well known outside of Japan. And so they say the solution to fixing this problem for people outside of Japan is that we found a parallel culture whose expressions could convey.
Yeah, see, I agree with Chibi on this. Like my preference for it is that. And again, like I think that's the clash here. The clash is two different not ideologies, but two different philosophies. Two different philosophies on how to actually like release a thing in a different language.
Daitaku Helios's chaotic fun personality, Gen Z. So let me break this down to make it as simplistic as possible. What these translators, or quote unquote localizers.
See, and here's the thing though, is this is what I wonder. And I'm trying to be, again, fair here, right? Because I've worked in the gaming industry and I know how blame works. How much of this is the person versus how much of this is Cygames specifically asking for this? Because we don't know the answer. It's possible Cygames themselves said, you know, as much as I want to blame that person, it's possible that Cygames said, listen, we want to reach the biggest audience possible, so make everything as easy to digest as possible. Fuck the culture. It's totally possible that they did that. So like, we don't actually know.
Or actually doing is straight up.
I would love to just rage, but I know what it's like to be on the other end of the rage when it's not even your fault. Like you weren't the one who made the decision and everybody rages on you on it. Like I've had it happen to me.
Saying your Garu culture, your otaku culture within Japan is inferior, and so we need to make it dumbed down, change it entirely for the dumbasses like overseas can act.
Just for context, I worked on a game. I'm not going to say, I mean, you know, I worked on a game and there was a controversial patch in which I was the only one in the company against that patch. I was the only one against it. I said specifically in the company that this is a bad idea. We should not do this. And they said they did it anyway. They said, well, you know, everyone else thinks the other way. And I was like, all right. And then it was exactly what I said was going to happen happened. And everyone got mad at me for it. And like to this day, people still bitch about it. People still say like, oh, like she ruined this thing. It's all her fault. But like, I didn't actually do that. I was the one against it. And yet I took all of the fall for it. So like, because of that, like perspective wise, like I know that can happen where you would be like in front, you would be like publicly, like visibly the person, but then you actually were against it and like you still got in trouble for it. You're just doing like what the boss told you to do. And yeah, it happened to me. And it's like I said, people still bitch about it to me, bitch about me in regards to that today. And this is like years later, right?
Understand. Instead of them actively participating in the actual media and participating in because they actually love it and want to understand it, we need to dumb it down so everybody can be.
Someone said women's intuition. No, it's not even women's intuition. It's understanding it's love for the player. Does that make sense? So like the reason I knew it was bad is because I knew the audience. Like I knew who played the game. I knew who played the game, and people on the creative team did not. They didn't understand. They didn't look at the players with any sort of like endearment is the best way to explain it. Like they didn't try to understand the player. I did, because I was a player. I was a player of the game. I played the game every single day. So like I actually knew the community. And so I said that this was a bad idea because you don't understand our target audience. You don't understand the people that play the game. And they said, you don't know what you're talking about. Everyone loves this. And I said, no, they're not going to love it. And they were like, oh, you're just wrong. And I was like, all right, you know, whatever. And then the thing happened and everybody got mad at them. And they said, yeah, you know, the one who is in charge of it is her. And they all got mad at me. That's what happened.
Oh, did it make everybody feel very inclusive?
The funny thing is actually, it like a funny story though, is right after, well, not right after that happened, a couple months later, the same thing happened again. But then when I said something, they listened the next time. Like the actual CEO of the company was like, wait, she said this is a bad idea. And he called me into his office and he goes, what do you think of this? And I said, it's terrible. And it's going to be the same thing as the last time. And he said, okay, change it then. And so like, the CEO gave me the ability to just tell them to fuck off and change it. So I averted that from happening again. But no one's going to know about it because, you know, it is what it is. And it's not really, I mean, the problem again, and like the problem is that there were certain people in charge. And this is the problem in a lot of game companies, to be honest. Like this is my experience working in the games industry, is there's a lot of people, they understand games, but only from their own perspective. Does that make sense? Where they understand what they like and they understand gaming as they know it. They're incapable of like understanding a different audience. Does that make sense? So they're because they don't look at things from the point of view of like who's actually playing the game versus who are the people that I would play games with. They're boomers. Yes, they are.
Saying to the Japanese, this is the most outright disrespectful piece of shit that I think I have actually ever seen. What do you mean you're going to actually tell the Japanese that we think Gairu culture is pretty much inferior to Gen Z culture? And so we're going to change.
And I have to be clear, by the way, those people aren't necessarily bad. I'm not saying that they're bad. They definitely know what they're talking about, but for a different kind of game. Does that make sense? Like they understand a different genre of game, a completely different genre. And like they could knock it out of the park with that other genre. But it wasn't the genre it wasn't the audience that they're used to. That's the problem. It's like a lot of people think that all of gaming is just interchangeable when it's really not. And you know, honestly, that's probably the problem with all of the woke shit. Now that I think about it, it's probably the same thing where you have woke people going, oh my God, me and my friends would totally love this, right? Oh my God, it's so funny, right? And you have all of these like, you know, these people that are from outside of core gaming. And I don't know, like they played like Stardew Valley and shit like that, right? Like they played these kind of games, Stardew Valley, what else can I say? What other games like that? Candy Crush, not really Candy Crush. It's more like, yeah, comfy slop games. Yeah, like Pokemon. Yeah, that's a good example. Pokemon, The Sims. Yeah, Stardew Valley. Like that's the kind of games that they play. And then they're like, I can totally make like Skyrim. Do you see? Do you see what I mean? Like this is what happens. Is like they're not actually on the pulse of the actual like people that play the game that they work on. They're like, they only understand their own like desires, their own perspective on the thing. And when you have that, plus having people that are not from, you know, because if you hire for culture, then you can kind of create that, right? Because you only hire people within the culture. Then you don't have that problem, because if you're hiring only people from within the culture, then of course they'll understand the culture because they're from it. But then once you start hiring people from outside, like, oh, this person made this award-winning mobile app game, Candy Crush or whatever, did really, really well. Then you hire them for like a hardcore PvP game. They're not going to fucking know like what the game is about. They're like, oh my God, this is so mean and violent. You see what I mean? Like it's not the same demographics, not the same sphere. And if you don't have people that have the capability of altering their perspective, like matching it, then you run into problems. Sorry, this is kind of a long tangent, but the point of this was, I don't know if it was that person who did it. It could have been someone else in the company, and then this person's getting bussed for it because they're in charge of the actual localization thing, but then that wasn't the directive that she was given. But I don't know. It could be fucking her fault.
Everything about Gairu culture, we're going to change everything about otaku culture and make sure it's dumbed down and easy to understand for the brainlets within the West. Make it completely inclusive for everybody knows. And honestly, this legitimately pisses me off. Like, guys,
we regret calling the game Warcraft. Exactly, right? Exactly.
I'm actually angry about this, and there is many examples about this situation. Like, I mean, a lot of people are commenting about this, but like, let's get into this one. Like, if you scroll down, actually not even scroll down, we go to the quotes.
And by the way, this is the reason why, sorry, I know I'm tangenting a ton today. This is the reason why, by the way, when people ask me, they tell me that like Angel Sword is too hard. It's too harsh. I just tell them too bad. This is the reason why. The reason why is because I made this game specifically for my kind of player. So when people are like, oh, it's too hard, like the combat is like too hard, or it feels really unfair, like how fast you die, and I'm just like, I don't care, like, too bad. It's how it is, and it's how it's gonna be, because I'm making the game for me. Basically, I'm making the game like how I would want it as a player, so that's the perspective it's gonna be, unfortunately.
See a lot of people talking about the situation, like this one right here. Look at this. Creating authenticity. A character's speech in English needs to have as much charm and flavor as in Japanese.
And like sorry, one other thing about it too is we actually had a talk about this on the dev team. So like we all got together. This is like during like the big thing where a lot of people were pissed, and then like a lot of people were pissed that there were consequences, and there was a lot of drama. The conversation that we had was me and the other head dev were talking about it, and we're like, should we just turn the game off? And it was like, we need to like talk about what we're gonna do. And at some point we said, okay, let's reevaluate our mission statement. Like, let's go back to the basics and think about our mission statement. Like, what is the mission statement? And it was to make a game that we like and we enjoy and we want to play. When we reevaluated that, we're like, okay, well then it's obvious then, you and me, we would rather nuke the game. Like, if the game was going to do bad, if the game would be less successful because it's the way we want it to be, then fuck it. We'd rather nuke the whole game than make it into something that we don't want to play. So we made a commitment at that time that the game will always be the game that we want to play. And if the game like dies because of it, it's better. It's better than like changing it into like, you know, a game that everyone can play. And that was kind of what we decided on that day.
Solution. We research the character's culture and surroundings and make their voice authentic to real life. Now, here's the thing. The whole situation about this is basically saying that they want to do this. This is what they changed by making it authentic to real life. So the top is the plain translation from Japanese to English. Mm-hmm. This right here is what they actually did. And you can instantly see what they mean by authentic real life conversation within English. It is an entirely different sentence. This is not even the same sentence. They're literally saying the fan service is unreal. Like look, I'm a guy that likes fan service, but you don't just start adding things in because you want to. This mm-hmm. You know what this is? This is literally butchering and taking a hold of a vehicle and basically trying to commandeer to do what you want instead of the original operator. And
yeah,
to kind of explain here, they're taking an already pre-established series, trying to hijack it and turn it into their own fan fiction. It is legitimate.
See, the question I have again, like, I is this Cygames doing it? It could be Cygames doing it. I don't know. It could be them. They could be the ones that are. And I love Cygames. Again, like I love Cygames, and maybe it's them.
Annoying seeing stuff like this, like the fact that they have
maybe that was the localization directive. We don't know.
Audacity to straight up tell the Japanese and everybody else that's actually looking at this that this is about creating authenticity is legitimately insulting. They are legitimately insulting.
Especially, it makes me actually think it's more likely that it's actually directive. Because why would they make this? Why would they make this if this wasn't actually their company mission?
every single person that isn't a brainlet. That's what they are doing. Because what do you mean that you're changing sentences entirely like that? Like, I mean, like, this is actually insane. Like, look at this one. This is another good example. Plain translation. That's a great idea. Why not go even further and make it a pretty rainbow curry? The Psy Games translation. Don't hate, let her cook. Why not go all in and make it a I just butchered that, forgive me. Amatsta worthy rainbow curry. Forgive me. But basically, as you can see, they completely changed the sentences. They did Zoomer Gen Z speech right at the beginning of it. It's like you could see their intentions. What they are doing is they're dumbing down the actual accurate translations, creating an entirely new sentence that isn't the proper translation, just to add in new Gen Z speech. And instantly, you know what this does? This dates it. This dates the dialogue. This dates the series.
It does actually. That's true.
And it is legitimately annoying. Like, I'm gonna tell you, I remember.
Like, is all dialogue dated though? Like, all lingo is kind of dated, right? Like even like I don't know what she's saying here. Like, I don't know anything about Gyaru culture and stuff like that. But I don't know if this is actually, if that gets dated too. I'm sure it does. I'm sure lingo does, like, to a degree, right?
Like, for instance, in ReZero's latest episode that came out this last week, and when I looked at the Crunchyroll translations, you literally have Natsuki Subaru say grifting. I'm not shitting you. He literally says grifting in the latest episode of ReZero. Now, obviously, it's a very small thing, but this is a very big example that a lot of these companies, not just this, for instance, are hijacking these translations, forcing in Gen Z speech, and dating the dialogue. That doesn't need to be dated, just properly translated.
That's fair. I agree with that.
Plain translations. You're making an entirely new freaking sentence. That's what you're doing, and that's exactly what this is. So this overall is legitimately annoying, and I am very, very happy to see that
we was
called out for this.
Dude, the we was meme is so funny. Like, it's actually so peak.
Ignore that. But I'm very glad that they are getting called out for this. And this is apparently one of the localizers, which, go figure. This is one of the localizers. Like, go figure. Like, who would have guessed?
Yeah, one thing that was really annoying, though, was that Christmas was censored. If you guys don't know, this was actually the topic of my joke in the song, the localizers, the fuck off localizer song that I did. It's actually, what happened was there's a line in Umamusume where they say Merry Christmas, and they translated it to Happy Holidays, even though the character literally says Merry Christmas. Like, the voiceover literally says Merry Christmas, and it says Happy Holidays.
Christmas party.
Who would have guessed that this would be someone that is currently butchering the translations of something from Japan? Not me! Obvious sarcasm, by the way. But, like, dude, I am legitimately sick of this. I am so sick of this, because this is the exact same shit that Hollywood, that gaming and everything. That was me, by the way, not you. That was my Discord.
Are they a leftist? I don't know. I actually don't know.
But it is literally everything that happens within Hollywood, that's happened within gaming, everything with entertainment itself. It is thanks to these parasites that have infiltrated and basically ruined everything. And now they are doing the exact same thing for Japanese content. Actually, no, correction, Asian content. Not even just Japanese, but stuff from Korea. And now they are doing the exact same thing for Japanese content. Actually, no, correction, Asian content. Not even just Japanese, but stuff from Korea as well. They are going out of their way to absolutely butcher and use their ideology, their politics, and force their certain narratives within to different works. And the Japanese are getting the rug pulled out from underneath them because they have no idea. They don't fully understand what is going on and why it's bad, because they're getting all this information and PR and stuff from people that already are culturally, ideologically captured and have an intention to change Japanese culture, like literal parasites. It's insane, honestly. And you know what makes me even more pissed about this entire situation?
I don't know where it's coming from, though.
There's so many content creators, massive content creators, bigger than me, that will not talk about this. And you want to...
The best thing to do, though, is to just yell at them. Like, honestly, is to actually get mad at them. It's like the best way to handle it because we don't actually know who's in charge.
I don't know why they won't talk about it. I'm going to tell you some hard truths, okay? I want to give you a moment to think about it. I want to take a sip of my coffee. I will give you a second to think about why they're not talking about this, why there's massive content creators that are not talking about not just this situation, but with what Crunchyroll's been doing and everyone, okay? Take a few moments to think about it. Oh yeah, now that I've given you a moment. If you want to know, it's because they are also a part of this group. Either they are on the payroll of these companies, they are getting paid or sponsored, and so obviously if they were to speak up about this, they would be blacklisted. Hell, I know I'm blacklisted probably from almost every single company because of my opinions, because they don't want to hear it. I know for a fact, I'm going to say it like it is. I don't care.
By the way, this is why I just want to thank viewers like you, because I can say whatever the fuck I want. I don't rely on sponsorships at all, so I just say anything I want.
I'm not going to take money from people that want to ruin my favorite form of entertainment. I'm just going to say it. But the point here is all these big content creators, they are in the pocket of these companies. They will refuse to talk about it. They won't say anything because they are getting money from them. Or they are afraid of talking about it because they
say a slur leave. Okay, well, that's going too far because I'll get nuked off platform for that.
That is the truth. And a lot of these big creators have been injected into the community.
The funny thing is, though, is I don't actually like saying slurs, to be honest. Like, at neutral. I don't really care to say slurs. I don't really think it's good. Like, when I mean good is, I mean, it seems very, very like just monkey brain to say slurs. Like, it's not really, it makes you look like a dumbass basically to do it all the time. But these people keep telling me to not do it and I'm naughty. So, like, I just really want to say it because they tell me not to say it. If they didn't tell me not to say it, I probably would never say slurs, to be honest.
That are actually involved with these individuals that are actively ruining anime, manga, and gaming from the East, from Japan and Korea and stuff. So, yeah, that's all I really got to say on this. It's just, this pisses me off, and I'm glad to see that there is a lot of backlash happening here, and it is, like, trending and stuff. People are really talking about this, but this is unacceptable, man. This is...
Listen, when I say I'm naughty, I mean mischievous. Okay, guys, I'm like a troll, okay? Like, that's what I meant. I didn't mean it in that way. Holy fuck. Calm down.
Completely unacceptable. Like, I think that more people need to continue calling this out. And that's why I'm making a video. So you all have a fantastic day or night wherever you live. Be safe.
Thanks, Chibi. That was a good video by Chibi. Can you link it, Julio?